സഹോദരി സഹോദരന്മാരെ എല്ലാവർക്കും എൻ്റെ വന്ദനം. It's a pleasure to be here with you and participate in this program to inaugurate the office of Bhaavika, a mentoring program for the holistic development of students. First, my best wishes to all students, trainers and parents who have assembled here. I recall here having launched the Bhaavika program last year at Tiruvalla, and I am happy that within a year it has spread its wings to all the districts of Kerala, enlisting more than 10,000 students into its fold. What is really gratifying is that 50% of these students hail from economically backward sections of society, which bears testimony to Bhavika's ideal of inclusive growth. As we all know, progress of any nation depends primarily on the standard of education imparted at all levels. This has been very powerfully brought out by Swami Vivekananda, who the reply that he gave to an editor who had asked him in 1897, and the question was, what is the difference between our people and those, even the poor people in the cities of Europe? And Swamiji's answer was, education, education, education alone. And we must not forget. Now, taking a cue from Mr. Abraham, I am departing from the text, that we must not forget that even before medieval times, Indian civilization was known as knowledge civilization. Every individual, every society, every country, every group of people, they have a genius. As it has been said, Naksharo mantrahinam na moolam noshidham ayogye purusham nasti yojak istatra dullabha. There is not a single syllable, any sound which does not have the power of mantra. No plant, root or leaf which does not have the power of medicine. And there is not a single human being who is devoid of talents. The scarcity is of those who can identify the talent and make proper use of it. Make proper use of it means for the benefit of the individual and for the benefit of the society. Everyone has talent, but that talent needs to be identified. I have spoken this many places, that if we were a knowledge civilization, why history has been so cruel to us? It is very difficult to find answer to this question. not impossible, difficult. But again, if you go to Swami Vivekananda, particularly Swami Ranganathananda, who was chief of the mission which was set up by Swami Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Mission. In the speeches of Swami Vivekananda and in the writings of Swami Ranganathananda, you find answer to this question. Swami Ranganathananda says that our genius was education and knowledge. But during the period of our decline, if you are a knowledge civilization and your ethos require you to spread education and knowledge, then he says, but during the period of our decline, we denied access to knowledge to our own masses. And he quotes from a scripture, Saraswati Gyan Khalv Yatha Sati, which means that a scholar, she or he, who imprisons knowledge within herself or himself, may be a great scholar, erudite person, but that person is in reality a villain of knowledge. Knowledge is something which you cannot, money yes you can keep with yourself. Because knowledge is the only asset. Money if you spend, your bank balance will come down. Arif Sahib can certify that. But knowledge, more knowledge you distribute, it will lead to increase of knowledge. There is a beautiful, beautiful. In fact, I was reading somewhere that religions mostly talk of adopting a moderate approach. But in the case of education alone, moderation has not been prescribed. All the prayers, increase me in my knowledge. Rabbe zidni ilma, increase me in my knowledge. So knowledge is one thing. Tapa swadhyay niritam. I was saying that in Bible there is a proverb which compares wisdom with gold and silver. Knowledge, wisdom. It says how much better to get wisdom than gold. To get understanding, the words are so important. To get understanding is to be chosen rather than silver. In the Indian tradition again, it says, ever devoted to the pursuit of knowledge. Why knowledge is important? Again, I would like to refer to Swami Vivekananda, who said, he said the goal of life is not pursuit of pleasure. The real pleasure does not come from acquisition of material and physical things. He said the real pleasure comes from the acquisition of knowledge. Then he was asked, what is the purpose of knowledge? Swami Vivekananda said that the purpose of knowledge is to develop the ability to find unity, the underlying unity behind apparent diversity. Every person who is sitting in this hall, no two persons are similar, even if they are born of the same parents. Not just that their facial features are different, even their taste may be different. Their choice of colors may be different. So he says that this diversity is the law of nature. And there is certain unity behind this apparent, underlying unity behind this apparent diversity. One who develops the purpose of knowledge, education, wisdom is to develop the ability to see that underlying unity behind the apparent diversity. Yada bhuta pridthak bhava mekasthavan upashyati tat eva cha vistaram brahma sampadyate tata. One who sees everybody else as extension of his own self, and you can keep quoting one after the other. The Indian scriptures are full of these exhortations, but do we see them in our practical lives? When Swami Ranganath says that we became neglectful of our own tradition, of our own legacy, then we had to pay the price. We have paid the price. These organizations like Bhaavika, I am sure that they will not only make the students competition ready, they will impart knowledge, but they are also, and you can make out from the small video which we have seen, that knowledge, this training also means to make our youngsters emotionally resilient, where they can, you have to face all kind of situations in your life. If the situation is difficult, it is adverse, it is taxing, then we have to develop the ability to face it boldly, face the terrible, face the fearful. That can happen only when you have not only knowledge, but emotionally you develop resilience. And Bhaavika, they are doing, I'm so happy to see, and I have very special regards for Gigi sir. This idea to create this organization in itself is so appealing and attractive. I compliment you, Gigi sir, for this organization. And I would also like to compliment Shri Abraham. We definitely need support of people like you to carry this noble work forward. Education, as I said earlier, is a never-ending task. I also said earlier that it is only the acquisition of knowledge where moderation is, everything else in life moderation is provided. But the pursuit of knowledge, whatever capability, whatever capacity, ability we have, we must use all of that to acquire more and more knowledge. And I am sure Bhaavika will greatly contribute and help in this venture. Again, my very best wishes to Bhaavika, Gigi Saab and his team, And I am sure that if within a year they have traveled so far, next few years, I am sure they will create a great impact on the educational scenario of not only Kerala, but people from outside will also learn from them. I again give you my very best wishes. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Valre nanni. Jai Hind.